Airbus has been, in the DNA of Airbus, has been the innovation. We have got into the market 50 years ago, and all the time it was because we were bringing to the market something innovative, something that could help be more competitive to the airlines. I'm talking about fly-by-wire. I'm talking about more advanced composite materials that were making the aircraft lighter. I'm talking about commonality between the different aircraft families, something that other aircraft manufacturers after have imposed or have put that kind of technology into their aircraft. So innovation is at the spirit of the DNA of Airbus since then. So here in Brazil, we have been here for nearly 40 years. We have here in Airbus have three divisions, Airbus Commercial, that we're commercial aircraft, but we have also helicopters and defense and space division. Here in Brazil, as I was saying, we have 40 years of experience, but also we have here something interesting, that we have the only helicopter assembly line in South America through our subsidiary Airbus. Also, we have a training center here, the Airbus Brazil Training Center, that is located at the Uniazul facilities. That is, we provide training to our Airbus pilots there. And we have over 500 employees here in Brazil, so we are pretty much a Brazilian company as well. This year also make a landmark of our 12,000 delivery. Here that you see here is a 220 being delivered to Delta out of our new home country, that is Canada, because we are building also aircraft in Canada. Our 220s is, I will go a bit farther on the 220 afterwards. In total, we have sold almost 20,000 aircraft through our existence, commercial aircraft through our systems, out of which over 12,000 have been delivered. So it means that we have a pretty healthy backlog, over 7,000 aircraft to be delivered to customers around the world. So this makes that every 1.5 seconds, pretty much, there is an aircraft from Airbus taking off or landing anywhere in the world. Three lines of products that we have. We have what we call the small aircraft. So that's we have two families there, the 220 and the 320. The 220 is a single aisle aircraft that is ideally fit for 100 to 150 seats. We will go a bit further later in this program. That is a very interesting program. And complementing this, it's our well-known and successful A320 family, composed of three members, the 319, 20, and 21 members. In the middle of the range, we've got the A321XLR, that is our latest development in the 320 family. That is a long-range, extra long-range aircraft that complement our single-aisle family. And also the 330neo family. The 330neo is incremental development technology that we have put into the 330. We will go more details a bit later. And the 330neo is a perfect complement to the 330s and the 321XLR, as it in the middle of the market. The 330 is 250 to 300 seats, and it offers a range capability of over 7,000 to 8,000 nautical miles, the 330neo. And finally, on the large products, we developed the 350 family. The 350 is two models, the 900 and 1000, all between 300 to 350, 400 seats. And that is the latest clean sheet design to address this market. Going now to our smallest aircraft, the 220 that we were saying. So back in July last year, July 2018, we got over 50% of a company called CSAL, that's a C-Series Aircraft Limited Partnership, that it was transformed recently to Airbus Canada Limited Partnership. So for which we are going to market, support, and help with the procurement and the development of the 220. The 220, as I was saying before, is a 100 to 150 seater aircraft, perfectly designed to complement our 320, and it has a range capability up to 3,000 nautical miles. So when we took over, his main competitor is the Embraer 2. It had very good market share at that time. But over the last couple of years that we have started to work on the project, to provide our support, our expertise, we have achieved another almost 300 additional sales between firm sales and commitments that we want to firm up in the coming months. And that represents that today we have 650 commitments for this particular aircraft. So today, firm orders are 525. We have delivered around 90. In the first 9 months of the years, I think we have delivered 33 aircraft from our production line in Mirabel, Canada. And this is a 220-300 that is the largest member of the 220 family. So today the aircraft is flying with 6 different airlines, sorry. And it's flying from very long sectors like Latvia to the Emirates, to Abu Dhabi, that Air Baltic is flying, but also is doing extremely source sectors that, for instance, Korean Air is doing in the domestic Korean market. So very flexible tool. It's extremely, it's not a regional airline, it's a small single aisle aircraft. So it offers the comfort of a single aisle with the economics of a regional jet. This is a picture of earlier this year in January, where we start building our new facility in Alabama, where we're going to build another assembly line to complement our line in Canada for the A220. So we expect that next year we're starting delivering aircraft out of Alabama. The well-known and the most successful aircraft in the market, the A320 family, out of which we have orders for almost 15,000 aircraft, and we've got a backlog of almost 6,000 aircraft to be delivered. As I said before, 3 different models, the 320, the 319, the 320, and 321 Neo. Those are extremely successful in the market, and we will see the reasons why. As I was saying, since we launched this incremental innovation development, where to the A320 successful family, we added new engines, and that could provide up to 20% lower fuel burn than the competition aircraft of the previous generation. It meant that we were able to capture almost 60% of the market in this segment. And we just recently delivered the Neo 1000 to an airline in India, and we still got, as I was mentioning before, over 5,000 aircraft to be delivered still. So it's extremely healthy backlog, a lot of demand from customers, so we're extremely satisfied with the performance of the 320. Earlier this year, we launched a new product in the 320 product range. It's the 321 XLR. The 321 XLR is basically a 321 where we have increased the takeoff weight, done a few reinforcements in the fuselage, put a stronger landing gear, and add a additional fuel tank. So the aircraft can go from the 35,000 nautical miles range, typical of a 321, up to 4,700 nautical miles. Okay, so it's extremely competitive aircraft. It's an aircraft that fills the gap there in the middle of the market of extremely successful family of aircraft. And what we see is that an aircraft that can provide ranges from Miami to the southern cone of Latin America, can do transatlantic, can do long regional in Asia, extremely flexible, extremely versatile, and is just an addition to the current successful A320 family. We have been extremely successful in the launching of this aircraft over the last few months since we launched it. We have been able to get over 350 commitments for this aircraft. Here in the region, we have JetSmart, that is a Chilean airline low-cost carrier that committed to 12 A321 XLR. Then we continue with the 330 family. This is the most flown wide body in the market today. It's the most successful wide body program. We have sold over 1,700 aircraft up to now, and we have still over almost 300 aircraft to be delivered. It's an aircraft in two sizes. In the Neo is the 800 and the 900, between 250 to 300 seats. And we, as I was mentioning, we have been extremely successful. This aircraft was supposed to be killed by another aircraft that was launched by the competition, but it filled the demand for this aircraft. We have since the competitor aircraft was launched almost over 1,000 orders, and we're still leading, being the most successful and most flown wide body in the market. Here in the region, we have several airlines that were flying it, and one of them is Azul, that was flying the 330-200, and they start taking delivery earlier this year of the 330-900. The second one took delivery last week. So extremely satisfied with the performance of the 330 Neo, a very, very successful aircraft to compete in this market. One of the advantage of the 330 Neo is not only the additional innovation that we have put. We have put a new wing, a new pylon, a new engine that was much more competitive than the previous one, that could reduce the fuel burn by 14%. But also we have put a new interior into this cabin, making it extremely sexy, attractive, and if you have the opportunity to fly in Azul, I would recommend, because the job that they have done in the cabin has been fantastic. Finally, I would like to talk about the 350, 900, and 1000, what we call the A350 XWB family. It's a clean sheet of paper design. It was designed to satisfy demand from 300 passenger to 400 passenger in two models, the 900 and the 1000. Up to now, we have sold over 900 aircraft, out of which we have still around 600 to deliver to different customers around the world. The introduction of the 350 has been very, very smooth. We haven't, some of our customers were telling us, we haven't seen a wide body introduction in our fleets that has been so smooth. And this is because we have worked a lot in getting all this technology and all this extremely mature, so the entry into service is extremely good. As you can see here, the dispatch reliability is amazing, but what is amazing and really interesting of this aircraft is that it's capable of reducing the fuel burn, the emissions, by 25% compared to the aircraft that was going to replace. The 1000, that was the largest member of the family. It's between 350 to 400 seats aircraft. Today there are 4 airlines flying this aircraft: Virgin, Cathay, Qatar, and British Airways. All extremely satisfied, flying from very long sectors like Hong Kong to London, or Trans-Pacific from Hong Kong to San Francisco, to even short sectors that Qatar does between the Gulf and India. As you could see in the quotes from CEOs from Hong Kong and Qatar, extremely satisfied with the aircraft and extremely smooth entry into service. It's the most successful entry into service that these guys have seen, and they have seen a lot of aircraft getting into the fleets. Now let me talk about a bit more about the region. So if we look at the evolution of the region, and if you were this morning in Pedro Helbron's presentation, it's pretty much we're sharing some of the information. So we see that over the last, since 2000, there's been a consolidation in the Latin America of the airlines. But at the same time, we have seen an explosion. So aircraft flying has been over 86%. RPK is more than double. Pedro this morning was saying that the passenger has doubled over the last 20 years. We see the same exactly. But what we have seen instead, because the fleet has not doubled, it means that there's been more productivity in larger fleet. And there's been a lot of new aircraft coming into the market that have made that the average age of the aircraft flying in the region has gone from 16 years old to hardly 10 years of age. So that is slightly below the world average. So it makes that the fleet in the region is very, very young. Another important thing is the success that the aircraft manufacturers been here in the region. We have gone from having 150 aircraft in our backlog to have over 1,000 aircraft in our backlog for airlines in the region. We are very well present in the region. We've got 16 operators. Most of the operators operate single aisle aircraft, and this is normal because here in the region, over 80% of the aircraft that are flying are single aisles. And our A320 family, the most successful family around the world, is not a secret that this is the most common aircraft flown in this market. So you see the presence. We have pretty much a presence in with pretty much any of our aircraft types up to now. We still don't have 220s yet, but we're working to try to get customers. But you see wide bodies, 330s, 340s, and 350s flying in the region. 25 years of cumulative success here. As I was mentioning before, over 1,200 aircraft that has been flown, especially over the last 12 years, our backlog or our order, cumulative orders have tripled, and that has made it, that we have since '94 pretty much secure around 70% of all the aircraft orders that have been done in the region. And this is something that is pretty unique, and that make that today we have pretty much almost 60% of all the aircraft that are in service in the region are Airbus aircraft. Airbus is the most common aircraft around the region. One of the things that why we've been so successful has been built on the success of the 320neo family. And today we have pretty much the double of customers or operators committed to the A320neo, and we have 70% of the commitments, either direct or through lessors, that being committed to the neo compared to the 737. And this is the aircraft that are flying here in the region. I'm sorry this is not up to date because a couple of days ago, it was up to end of September. A few days ago, we delivered the first neo also to JetSmart. So now there are 8 operators of the neo, and it's over 110 aircraft, neo aircraft that are flying in the market. So as you can see. One of the things that, of the success of the 320 family is that we've got not only one aircraft, we've got several aircraft that can fit different purposes and different market sizes. We've got extremely successful A320, that is mostly the most common aircraft in the market, but we also have the fantastic A321. 321 is extremely low cost, low unit cost aircraft that can help to attack more dense routes with a much lower unit cost than the 320. And we have seen that in 2007, nearly 12 years ago, there were only a few aircraft. It was less than a handful, and we have maybe a backlog of 10 or 15 aircraft, out of which were 321s. What I've seen in the last 12 years is that the size of the A321 fleet has grown enormously. And what we are seeing going forward with the deliveries is that pretty much 35% of our capacity being delivered in the region are going to be 321s. Extremely successful aircraft and very successful to satisfy the needs of lower unit cost and satisfy some of the networks that we see from our customers. So finally, I want to share with you our backlog, where as you could see, most of our backlog is based on A320neo and A321neo. That is the bulk of our future deliveries here. And then we have also deliveries committed to wide body aircraft with LATAM and Azul fundamentally. So I think that's pretty much all for me. Thank you very much, and muito obrigado. Muchas gracias.
So before we start our Q&A session, we just have a piece of information. Airbus is in quiet period at this moment, so we might not be able to answer all of your questions, maybe just a few. However, we will be having a new press briefing in November in which we will go into deeper information on Latin America, which you're all invited to. We will send the information soon enough. So, that's the information. It's open for the first question. Everything was very clear?
We're very shy population.
Quiet period scared?
Well, thank you very much, man. And it's been a pleasure.